Hey, good morning and happy Aloha Friday. So nice to be back after a nice, relaxing spring break. I've been talking with a lot of the students about what they did over spring break, and it's always funny to hear some of their travel stories. I know a lot of people had trouble getting back to Indianapolis, and some kids will share, "Oh, I didn't do anything. I was so bored." And I use that as an opportunity to talk about how, the power of being bored. In our current world, it seems like we are obsessed with constant entertainment and constant engagement. And frankly, I find that just exhausting. I really like the opportunity to be bored, to allow my mind to wander, and that really helps generate that flow of ideas. And it's something that should be really embraced, because when you're bored, your mind will open up and you will think about things and reflect on things. And I really think that is something that we don't do enough of with our students. I think, as teachers, a lot of times we're talked about, engagement, 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 and we don't spend a lot of time looking at reflection and pondering and wondering and those types of things, and moving away from devices, and what that can really bring. It's important to allow for time to be quiet, still, and bored. That I definitely find value in that. Um, I also wanted to share, I'm reading a new book right now, called No Ego, and I'm finding it really interesting. It's written from the perspective as a business leader type thing, but I like to read books like this every now and then because it helps me kind of rethink about some things that are happening in my classroom. And it deals with kind of moving past emotion and getting into that reality based solutions. And um, it talks about how, that reflective part, how important that is. And so, it kind of loops back to what I was thinking a lot about during spring break. And it talks about using real simple questions like, what does great look like in this situation? Moving past like your emotions and moving into solutions. I was talking about this a lot with students when we talk about growth mindset and that fear of failure. That I actually try to think about failure as a good thing, and in fact, failing fast, so what doesn't work, so you can move into what does. In our traditional education system, sometimes that is not how we think. We don't allow students the opportunity for growth and development with grades and how we process different things within our the system of school. And so I'm really liking the opportunity to kind of rethink some of this. A great book that also talks about this as far as raising and teaching kids, is called Fall Down Seven Times, Get Up Eight, which is a great Western philosophy quote, by Debbie Silver. So if this is something that you're really, really interested in, that is a great book to consider. That's one that I have found great value in. I saw her at a conference and just fell in love with her style and her presentation. And so that would be a great book if you're interested in that kind of thing. As far as where we're at in science, we just took the reproduction quiz yesterday. I have updated all the grades into Skyward. There are several assignments that a couple kids are still struggling to get turned in from before break. And so you'll want to go into Skyward and check for those grades, if they're missing, and help me remind those kids that those can still be turned in through Canvas. So they're still open in Canvas. We're going to spend a couple days we're going to spend today and a couple days next week going over scientific notation before we move into genetics. So we'll start genetics towards the later of next week. As far as biology, I did some classification, some taxonomy, and some of that kind of stuff at the beginning of this week, and we've now moved into ecology. Um, Ecology is a review for them. They've been over a lot of that stuff in sixth grade and seventh grade. And so I am hopefully going to be able to move through that relatively quickly because it's just like food chain, energy pyramids, uh, cycling of matter through the biosphere and different things like that. And so, again, we're moving through that relatively quickly. So we'll only spend about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks on that. But I want to finish that up before we start I Learn. So I Learn testing schedule will be coming up in the next couple of weeks, about in a few weeks. So 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to start that I Learn testing cycle. And that can be a challenge for students and parents. So I'll be sharing some information on some good practices with that. And so, I'm going to be talking about things like diet, sleep, rest, those types of things, as far as things that you might be able to do at home that'll help your students be more successful on that standardized testing. So, again, thank you so much for everything that you do as parents. And again, as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me either within Parent Square or just a simple email. That is usually the best way of getting a hold of me. Thank you so much.